Hey everyone, welcome to the Fan Club YouTube channel. I'm Will.
I'm Lawson.
And I'm Austin.
Join us every Monday for interviews with top athletes, creators, and entertainers from all around the world.
So please make sure to like, comment, subscribe.
And thank you for joining our fan club community. Now please enjoy this episode.
What's going on, everybody? We are back from the greatest road trip of all time. We got a little internal pod here sitting by Frizz, Cuddy, Yelly, and we got Lost off camera, but we gave him a mic to be nice today. How's it going, everybody?
It's going good. This is pretty cool. Our first time having all 5 of us ready to go. Ready to tell some stories.
Good chatter.
Yeah, it's finally nice to be in front of the camera.
Oh,
Yelly.
didn't see you there.
Oh, whoa. Is the camera picking you up?
Yeah, are we getting this?
Say hi to the fan
We're
club
getting
micro.
It's good to be here.
We're getting it, and I'm
Yeah.
on the switchers now, so there's a lot of pressure on me back here.
Tons.
There is. You're the you're manning the ship for this episode, so
Don't get
don't
twitchy.
screw up.
I'll do my best. Let's get rolling.
Yelly, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Caught up on some sleep, and yeah, it's pretty cool sitting next to Cuddy because usually we sit next to each other, but behind the cameras. So
And
it's our time to shine.
something else we have to point out for the visual viewers. We're matching. There's
Weird.
Some people have some stuff on that looks very similar. I wonder what that is. Can
I
you
don't
break
know.
that down for us, Lawson?
I would say you break that down, Yelly.
You want me to break it down? Well, I'll break it down for all you guys. This is our new up-and-coming merch line, is the No Bad Days edition, or collection as we are most likely going to call it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got some pretty cool hoodies, T-shirts, and of course, the hats. So stay tuned. We got some cool stuff coming up.
Yeah, it's going to be dropping next week on Sunday, so we're super excited for that.
Yeah,
It's
we're
coming fast. It's been a long time coming, and we finally got all the mock-ups. It looks pretty dang cool.
Yeah, we're having a fun little photo/video shoot tomorrow on Saturday. Going to spend a couple hours different parts of the city, get some good shots in, and ready to rock on the website.
Get your model faces on.
Yeah, I'm excited about this collection. It looks really really clean,
Yeah.
really fresh.
No bad.
Little different color schemes and design, and should do well.
So, Frizz, we just got back. How many days was it? 8? 9? I think it was 9.
With one off day.
9 with the breakup, with halftime in between. But we
Yeah.
flew to LA on, holy smokes, what day did we even fly there? Sunday of last week. Got to LA for a few days, came back to Minneapolis for a day, rest up, reset, and got on the RV down to Birmingham and Nashville on the weekend. How is everyone feeling after that? How has this week been, first of all?
It's been, for me personally, it's been really nice to get back into the regular routine, kind of relax for a little bit, but it was a overall awesome trip. So many countless memories that are going to be unforgettable, and I was really happy with how everything turned out.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Frizz. It was definitely a very memorable trip. And I guess for me, this past few days since coming back from Nashville, was super tired. Slept in all days since coming back. But I have started my marathon training officially, so I've ran every day since being back.
Damn.
Nice. I got back, and it felt like I was gone for like 2 weeks, because I remember leaving. It felt like beginning of March, and then we're getting back, and it's March 20th, and it felt like the whole month just flew by, because you kind of lose track of time when you're on trips like that. I don't keep track of days, hardly check my emails, because we're just so busy, and we just go. Then when you get back, you realize you miss all these things and hardly know what day it is.
Yeah, and it was double the length of any of our normal trips. So you miss double the amount. You feel like you've been gone for a year, and you get back and you're like, holy crap.
Yeah, I think before, like, this trip was just, we planned it so quick, and it's like, okay, we got flights, we got RV trips, like, kudos to you, Will, for lining all that up, but yeah, it was really fun. What else was I going to say? I was going to say something else, but
Did you have any trouble lining anything up, Will, with that? Because, so, like, for those that don't know, Will does a lot of the booking for it. How hard was it for you to book this one compared to others?
Honestly, it wasn't as hard as you guys maybe thought. Like, you guys are giving me a lot of credit. We only had 2 flights. one to LA, one back. And the trouble was, I guess, just because we had to get to that Lakers game Sunday, and with you and I being in Winkler on the weekend before, we had a flight at the only flight option, like the latest that we could make it to the game still was noon on Sunday. So we drove through the night through a terrible, terrible blizzard in Manitoba and North Dakota, and made it back at 6 a.m.?
Yeah,
6 a.m., slept for 2 hours, went to the airport, but no, other than that, I mean, we flew Spirit for our first time. It was fine.
Wasn't the hardest part?
They kind of have bus seats.
Scheduling a RV driver. Heard that was the hardest thing.
But the RV trip was great, and obviously Dave helped out a little bit with the hotels for our drivers, and so it was pretty easy.
Well, I think like kind of the most stressful part actually that probably no one knows is we had the Nashville and Alabama trip planned and like set up before LA even like came into the picture, and then like I don't know, on the Wednesday before we left, I think that's when it got like the call and the details went through and stuff. So that's when we were like, okay, can we do it? Can we fit everything in a week? And like we said before, the stars aligned. We were able to get it done. So I guess, Will, you can kind of start out the journey for us.
Yeah, I mean, back to the booking thing quick. It was like we found out Wednesday that we need to be at a Lakers game at 8 p.m. Pacific time or whatever, 7 p.m., whatever, on Sunday night. Booked everything Thursday. Still said yes to going to Canada, made it back, and it turned into a tour rather than just a one-stop trip. So, but yeah, I mean, the trip was incredible. Let's start off. Cuddy, what do you think of your first time in California? I guess it was everyone's first time except Lawson.
I've been to the Bay area.
He's been to the Bay. He's the tech guy. But
yeah, for me, it really was not what I was expecting. Oh man, that Venice Beach was incredible. Like Yelly said in the vlog, it's like you picture it. It's like you walk down to the beach and it's just a sidewalk and whatever, the beach. But no, there was a huge boardwalk, like a bunch of stores. There's a gym, a skate park, courts. I mean, everything. It was just insane.
I think he snuck off. Did you see him sneak off to Muscle Beach to hit a quick bench?
Yeah, I saw a couple people had to come rescue him when he couldn't push it up. But
yeah, I needed a spotter on Muscle Beach.
Those guys would have ate us for breakfast.
Oh, yeah, there were some big dudes.
Yeah, and we were at the beach on a pretty windy day. There's some surfers out there. The waves were a little bigger than we thought, so I think we made the right choice in not grabbing surfboards as we kind of planned, but it was overall still a nice cold plunge.
Yeah, that didn't stop us from going in and enjoying the waves, though. Those are some pretty big waves.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was the second day in LA. What about the first day? Right off the plane, little trouble finding In-N-Out, which was a hiccup, and then we finally made it to the hotel after Mr. U-Turn drove us around downtown LA for a while. But we went to crypto.com for a Lakers-Knicks game, which was incredible.
Yes, we also have to say Mr. U-Turn is our wonderful manager, Felipe, who rented us a car. He was our driver. His name is Mr. U-Turn because even when there's a map on the screen, he may miss a turn, and we were making a U-turn. So that happened a few times throughout the trip. But, yeah, we got to the hotel, showed up to the Lakers game, and Toyota had a Toyota Fan Fest going on where the guys got to shoot some hoops. And, Lawson, you didn't compete, but how'd we do?
You did better than I thought you would do, actually. Everybody did. Just because there was, people watching us, and we hadn't played basketball. We haven't balled in a while, so I was thinking that you guys would be not very good, but there were some three-pointers made, and I was impressed by it, to be honest. I think especially by Frizz, to be honest. Frizz, you're not always the most coordinated, and you did end up winning that game, which took me by surprise. I wouldn't have bet on you. So, yeah, good for you.
Thanks. Felt good.
Sandbagger.
Good job, Frizz.
Yelly, what do you think of crypto and being able to go on the court and sitting basically courtside for the part of the game?
Yeah, it was unbelievable. I have only really watched basketball games either on TV or my sister's high school basketball games. So it was really cool and just a really different experience seeing it live than just in the other ways I had ever seen it.
It's so much different than NHL games.
Oh, yeah.
Because people, the Lakers are one of the most popular teams in the world. So people fly from all over the world just to see them or get a glimpse of LeBron. And he was hurt, and he was still out there having fun, putting on a show. But people literally come from all over just to see the Lakers play in Los Angeles. And it's completely different than any NHL game we've ever been to just because of that factor. And I guess so many more people are basketball fans than hockey fans too.
Yeah, the biggest thing I took away is that they have music going the entire game, even when the game's like going on. So that's pretty cool. I don't know if you guys like that or not.
Yeah, we did a little celebrity spotting. I don't think we saw any in person, but we got some info that Denzel Washington was at the game.
Yeah, my dad texted me saying that Denzel Washington was out with the players before the game, so he must have been there.
We missed him.
He must have been up in the
Coach
suite. Yeah.
Did you guys find it? What did you find to be the biggest differences from like working at an NBA game versus NHL?
Well, you can go on the court, and NHL, they're very strict about going on the ice, obviously, because you can ruin it. So that was something that was like, I mean, it was still pretty quick on the court, but at least you can go down there, take a picture. When we went on the King's ice, a couple of days later, we were out there, and then we got yelled out to get off. But
well, the games itself is a little bit shorter too. I guess I was getting chirped a bit by the guys. Didn't take some Insta stories. I was kind of snoozing there, taking in the game a little bit more than an NHL game, just because I don't know. We've been to a few more of those, but that's just my perspective.
I will give it to you though. Like you did all right for how fast the game went by. It's hard to grab a lot of content at a NBA game as it's going on. It just moves so fast.
There's no Zambonis for intermission.
No long intermission.
Literally left at halftime, and it was 10 minutes later, and the game was already back on.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, for me, it was like obviously the crowd was a lot different. So for us, we feel, I guess, because people know us more in that NHL world, that when we work an NHL game, like we expect to maybe communicate with more people, which I noticed there. It was more of like we blended right in with everybody else in the stands at that Lakers game. Like no one knew who we were there at all, which is didn't expect that, but it's just different than NHL games.
Those guys are incredible at what they do. So and being up close and personal and seeing actually how tall and how fast they are. It's on TV. You see a basketball game.
I made a remark during the game. I think I was sitting next to you, Will. I was like, wow, these guys are so big. And someone sitting next to it was like, no, they're NBA players. Like, wow, that's probably a terrible remark.
No, it's true, though.
It is true.
We had 5 seats or 4 seats in one section and 2 down below, and we'd rotated down below. When I was down below, I saw so many people that were even ahead of us on floor seats on like FaceTime with their friends and stuff, like not even paying attention to the game. It was crazy.
Yeah, it's just different. I mean, it's honestly kind of like a fashion show too at NBA games, especially in Los Angeles. People are walking around in designer everything, and it's I don't know, it's a star-studded affair, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what it'd be like in playoffs when the real actors
crazy.
And everyone comes out and about.
Yeah, who can impress other people the most, really.
Yeah. Well, let's move on to the Kings game. That was awesome too. Thank you to Toyota for bringing us out. We obviously love going to NHL games, and it was a blast going down. They had a really cool venue where the players walked out. Super nice suite that we were lucky enough to be in, and we got to hang out with Logan from Big Time Rush.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of that, Yelly?
No, it was just like the Lakers game. It was the first time for us at a Kings game. So, I know, it was really cool. Like, we got to go down and give the players knuckles before the game as they were heading out of the tunnel. And then, obviously, like you said, we met Logan, and that was really cool. And guys like Frizz, I guess, had assumptions that he was from Minnesota. So what was that story about?
You know, I've seen other people comment since that news came out that you thought it was real, that they thought it was real as well. So you're not alone.
Yeah, I don't know. I just always thought like they got famous because of what they did, and then people wanted to write the story around it and like kind of make it a TV version. I just didn't know the whole thing was made up. So he caught me off guard there, but other than that, he's a great dude. And I'd also like to shout out the Kings in-game hosts. They were like super energetic, and they loved us, and they were a lot of fun. Same with Barry. What was the mascot?
Bailey.
Bailey was grooving.
Yeah. Yeah, so they actually came up to our suite and grabbed us for some intermission entertainment that we performed. How did that go for you, Frizz? Run out of dance moves?
Let's just say I thought it was going to be like 10, 15 seconds. We'd be up there. We were up there for like probably over a minute and a half. And I like completely ran out of moves. I was just kind of, I think people were jumping on each other's backs at one point.
I didn't know what else to do.
The funny thing is,
knocked him over.
The last like 10 seconds, it was like on us, and we were like jumping in a circle.
Oh, yeah.
I had my hand on Bailey, the mascot's back, and it was so sweaty. But I can only imagine because the 3 minutes of us dancing is what he does the entire game. And yeah, that was
that
funny.
suit,
in that 100-pound suit that he wears.
No, that was a blast, and the footage of it is really funny too. We're just jumping in circles, I jumped on Yelly's back and kind of caught him off guard. I think I was whispering in your ear, "I'm gonna jump on your back next time it comes."
Yeah, we were jumping around in a circle.
I almost fell down the stairs.
Jumping around in a circle, and the cameraman is actually in the middle looking up at us. I thought that was a cool angle.
I think my mind left my body for that minute.
Yeah,
jumping.
And the Kings ended up getting the W. Those are the two like main events we came to LA for, but we did a couple other things in between. Like we went and saw the Hollywood sign, and Will saved the day. Hiked up there after probably an hour of searching for the right path with maps and arguments,
U-turns.
Lawson had been there before, so he was kind of a little bit of a tour guide. I think he was able to help us out.
You're just saying up.
It was crazy though, because they had signs that were like "Do not enter," "Road closed." Like there's so many signs.
Yeah, that hill is a bunch of fake signs.
There is, because at the top is where like the celebrities live, and they don't want people just driving up there all the time. So they use that. I kind of forgot about that when the last time I went, because I remember there was stuff like that, but I couldn't remember if that was like those were lies or not. But they always are. They're trying to keep you out of their territory.
Something people don't know, but it was actually an Amazon driver that saved the day. He gave us the final direction on where to go. Pretty lucky there.
He said, "Go up."
He said, "Go through that do not enter sign, and you will find it."
Yep.
But we made it through the gate, which we presumably thought was locked. And we just kind of were kicking around in the dirt. What do we do? Do we just go back down? And then Will opened the door that we thought was locked. And we made it up the hill, and it was really cloudy for most of the time.
Yeah, we had to kind of film our content like in between clouds, pushing past the mountain, which was kind of funny. But it was nice. There's no one else up there.
Yeah, I would have been mad if we went all the way up there. And obviously I had some video ideas planned for us to do when we got up there. So if we didn't have any sign in the back, it was going to be like a waste of time for me. So thankfully those clouds did I think it's just because Frizz was with us, honestly. He always gets lucky. So
I guess so, sometimes.
It is crazy seeing that sign in person. I think you said it, Will, like you see it in movies, TV shows, and it almost kind of seems fake. And then when you see it in person, it's literally like on top of or on the side of a mountain. It's like
it's high.
Yeah.
It is way up there.
It was bigger or smaller than you thought it was?
Bigger.
It was way bigger. That thing was huge.
I would like to stand by the letters and see how big it really is. I'm sure you could Google that. But we also went to Dobrik's Pizza and Saddle Ranch for a night.
Yeah.
Which, being content creators and seeing Mr. Dobrik do all that in the years prior it was kind of cool to go back. I personally did not know about Saddle Ranch until we got to LA, but these guys told me about it.
Me either. I loved it. I thought that was a really cool bar.
That was great.
I knew everything about Saddle Ranch, and I was so excited to go because obviously you want to see celebrities when you pull up there. And the funny thing was that was annoying is that I woke up that morning and then I look on my phone. We didn't see anybody that night. I look on my phone. The vlog squad was there pretty much 30 minutes before we showed up, and then they went to Dobrik's and did all these things. Would have got them in our vlog, would have said hi, but
and you know
Just
what we were
missed
doing?
Frizz wasn't lucky enough.
We went and did a little tour up in the hills, venturing up in the hills for that 30 minutes. It was cool. It was a cool spot, but dang, that would have been really kind of tied everything together.
either that or if I wouldn't have forgot my camera bag at Nobu, then
Yeah,
maybe that
Nobu.
would have saved us
Shout
more
out
time.
Nobu, first time.
That dang
I
camera
forgot you
bag.
did that.
I think throughout this whole trip, I left that thing behind probably 5 times. One of them, like at Nobu, was when I was already in the car. The only reason I went back for it is I think, Will, you told me about.
Oh, I was messing around with your headphones.
Yeah.
And I handed them to you. I was like, I don't want these. Why
Yeah.
are they back here? And then you tried to put them in your bag.
Yeah.
And your bag was missing.
Yeah, thank goodness you did that. Took them, no bag. Realized it was under the table at Nobu. So
Well, at least that was a spot that we know no one would swipe it from.
that's true. No
Don't
one
want that.
cares about my empty camera bag at Nobu.
And how's your
Sure.
experience there, Farmer Cud?
It was unreal. I probably had some of the best fish that I've ever had. What kind of fish was it anyway? Cod?
Black
Don't ask
cod
me.
with miso. I've
Oh,
actually
it
looked
was
up a
so
TikTok
good.
recipe how to recreate it, so I'm going to attempt that in the near future.
I am down for that. I'll help you. Let me know whatever I got to do. I want to
Yeah.
have that again.
Was that your favorite thing?
That was my favorite thing there, yes.
I think that was the
black
most
cod.
flavorful,
Yeah.
unique, flavorful thing that there was.
I'm bad at going to food places and being like, oh, I just want to taste how good it is and appreciate food. I want to go to a restaurant and eat and cure my hunger. But going there definitely gave a new outlook on food. And yeah, I probably would never have gone to Nobu ever in my life.
No. Well, when we're on the road, we want to experience things, obviously, and not just go to In-N-Out every single day.
True.
Because we could do that too, but I think something special about traveling with everybody in this group is that we can go to these new cities and spots where you're probably not going to like restaurants like that on a regular occasion. So we like to treat ourselves about once a trip with something cool and
Yeah.
unique.
Kind of want to start a debate about In-N-Out.
Really?
What type of debate?
I think it's overhyped.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think it's like, it's okay. It's like a
I-
6 out of 10.
I personally enjoyed it a lot. I think their fries or whatever, but
Yeah, fries
I
are
think
weak.
for that burger and the price, I think it's pretty reasonable. I mean, the lines are insane.
Yeah. That drive-through?
The drive.
Oh, that was
Oh,
nuts.
that was a huge line.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how they do it,
Yeah.
but yeah,
That's like the burger spot out there.
call me out if you disagree, if you're listening right now. But it's like, yeah,
I just think it's so hard to tell the difference between that
Yeah.
spot and Shake Shack, and they're all so similar that I don't even know.
I think
what's
you need
better.
to do a blind taste test of like the top 4 burger chains or whatever you think the top 4 burgers are at fast food, and then blind taste test them. We're not going to be in the regions to be able to do that, but maybe one day.
we could do a Midwest. We could do a Culver's.
Culver's.
So, Yelly, I actually wanted to ask you about what do you think of the like 2 a.m. shifts on the road, shutting down work at 2 a.m.? Like, you know what you're saying in the vlog.
What did I say in the vlog? I'm trying to recall.
Yeah, no, just for some context. Sometimes I like to film with these guys like pretty late, can get till like 2 a.m. when I have like a line on my phone that I need you guys to do. And that only happens when we're on the road because we're together late. So, which is obviously different. Do you like it when I do that?
Yeah, I think it's kind of funny looking back. It's like our job allows us to work at every single hour of the day. I don't know if that was the last night of our trip or not. I don't think it was, but
No, it was
But-
Saddle Ranch night.
that was Saddle Ranch night. Well, the following night, Cuddy, Frizz, and myself, we stayed up the whole night, and I don't think we made any content that night. But
We
I
filmed
think it's
a
kind
little
of
YouTube.
yeah, we did a little bit of YouTube, but it's kind of funny when you're filming at 2 a.m. and realistically only us know that scene was filmed at 2 a.m. Everyone
Yeah.
else like doesn't know.
Well, the way I approach it is that I want to get as much in as I can, like kind of like document as much as we possibly can when we're on the road, because I feel like those are like the peak interesting moments of our month or life or whatever, is when we're all traveling together. It's like a unique thing. So for me, I'm just trying to see how much we can squeeze in, and ended up making a ton of content on probably the most content we've ever made
Well, how many
in
videos
8
you make?
days. 23-ish.
On the main account only. Think about
Yeah, not to
second
say what
account.
Yelly did and everyone else. It's
Yeah, I
we're
was
getting-
gonna. Oh yeah,
No, I was just gonna say we're getting pretty good at, like, from that trip to the first one. I remember it was so hard to post every day on our like spring break tour we did exactly a year ago from this one, and now on this one we were like pumping out content, which is a little bit of strategy, a little bit of the way we manage our time, and Yeah.
I was gonna say we're so much better than last March, because the first trip we're like, go 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 go, say yes to everything. We have to be fully booked all day, every day, and now we usually spend our first half of the day just working, which helps a ton, I think, in that productivity level.
Yeah, that's probably the part that most people don't see is the amount that we do work on the road. Like I don't like to film like when we're in the mornings and stuff like that. It's just like I like it if we can get till 12 o'clock or the afternoon to just do what we all need to get done individually, and then like we'll go out and start filming and stuff. But we do get a lot done before that happens.
Yeah, it's definitely I don't think anyone really truly knows that, like we just said, we spend half the day. That's like the editing, working part of it. And obviously we only showcase just kind of like the highlights of our trip, the cool things we do. But there's many hours leading up to that being posted that we're sitting like in the hotel working on it.
Yeah,
Like last year too, every time we'd wake up, it'd be like, so guys, where are we going for breakfast? Let's all go get a coffee together. Let's go here, all of us. But now it's like, if you need to go to Starbucks, just run to Starbucks.
Yeah.
You don't need to tell everyone. Just go and come back and get your shit done.
Yeah, we were going to First Watch like every morning last year, and it's like we don't have time for that anymore.
I was still able to run to IHOP down the road in the rain. Well worth it.
Yeah, if you guys want to see like more of us from sun up to sundown, add us on Snapchat, because I'm constantly taking snaps of these guys when we wake up and have breakfast and start working in the morning, and then when we go out and go do stuff. So
I got to say the biggest advantage to LA was having Felipe driving so that I could pretty much edit in the car. Almost every video we posted in LA I worked on in the vehicle through traffic, which saved us a ton. Well, it saved me a ton of time, but that's the battle. Half of it's just that you're too busy to edit it, and the other half is you got to film it. But it's kind of like both ways to that.
Well, let's move on from the West Coast. Came back on early Wednesday morning. As Yelly said, these three did not go to bed that night. I think Lawson and I maybe got 2 hours of sleep, not even.
Yeah, we tried a new strategy. I personally
What do you
enjoyed
think of
it
that?
because in North Carolina, I did a very similar thing to what they did. Like, slept like 2 hours and got up, and I will admit, I was able to stay up like pretty decently fine. And then on the flight, I passed out almost like 90% of it, so I was good.
That was funny because we got to what time was our flight? Like 5:30, and the baggage check didn't even open till 4. We didn't even know about that, so we were sat in line with a bunch of angry people. I think we were the second flight out of LAX that morning.
it's crazy.
But we got back, got a little rest, got some things in order, and then Thursday came around, and Mr. Paul McDonald and Lefty, the legend himself, brought the RV down, and it was time to head to the south.
For a reunion, because if you guys don't know, 3 years ago for spring break, before the hockey guys started, we did almost the exact same route, besides stopping in Alabama, and Paul and Lefty were our drivers. They nailed it again.
We stopped in Illinois, see Yelly and his family for a bit, and then we got up early, another early morning,
Another early morning.
Oh, yeah. We always
Before-
do.
hit the road.
Well,
But-
before we get too far into it, too, I wanted to surprise the guys with Lefty for that reason, is because they all love the stories from Lefty 3 years ago, and they had no idea he was coming. So I didn't tell them, and then when the RV pulled up, they saw inside, and they saw Lefty was co-pilot on the way. So just a fun surprise.
That was a good surprise.
Best pilots out there.
It got me fired up to see Lefty there in his hat,
Oh, yeah.
his
he
pilot hat.
was rocking the same pilot hat. But for the first day of the RV, we drove down to Geneva, Yelly's hometown. Speak to that. I know we didn't get to see your family that much just because of they were out watching your sister play basketball, but we've been going to your house now. I think we did the math for 5 years now, minus 1 year.
Yeah, that sounds about right. No, my like Will was saying, my parents, they weren't actually there, unfortunately, because they love the spring break when we'd stop halfway at our house. They absolutely love it. We usually get Portillo's, sit around, chat. But no, it was cool to do it yet again this spring, or like this past week. And now that we had less guys on the RV, all of us got to sleep in a bed, which is probably a little comfier sleep for the RV trip down to Alabama.
I did sleep on the couch upstairs.
Oh, yeah, you did. But you're trying to scare us all night.
One little thing I gotta say before we got to Illinois was Yelly's parents didn't even know that we were coming or had it planned that we were stopping there. So that was funny.
Yeah, we announced our trip on YouTube the Thursday prior, and my parents they watched the YouTube, and at that time I hadn't told them, kind of forgot, slipped my mind. So my mom just so when you gonna tell us? She sent that in a text message. I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, that you guys are stopping in Illinois, staying at our house for a night. And I was like, oh gosh, but no, they don't care. They love us there. So we went to a really good burger spot. I think Frizz put it in his top 3 burgers of all time.
Top 3 burger of all time. Screenshot the menu. It was just unbelievable. That's all I have to say.
Burger Local. So we had that for supper. Had a few hours of shut-eye. Got up bright and early, and then we hit the road for the best reunion.
Before shut-eye, though, Cuddy and I slept in the guest room downstairs, and Lawson likes to do this thing where he tries to, scare you. And that basement was, dark. You couldn't see anything. And this guy just kept popping his head in, trying to sneak around a little bit. And then you're laying there when you think he walks away, and then you put your flashlight on for one more check, and he's just standing at the foot of the bed.
I didn't know that. I was upstairs, so I had no idea he did that.
That was his thing. He would always try to prank me in college. He'd scare me.
I love scaring people.
I love to scare you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
haunting.
early wake up off to Alabama. And if people are wondering how do we get so many miles in so quickly, the 2 pilots have a thing called the switch. And as we are driving, they steady the wheel and they both switch seats. So we never actually really have to stop the RV except for gas.
That is true. And when we got on the road, too, here's kind of my little beef. My beef of the day is that, we had a fine sleep. It wasn't anything crazy. I believe that you can go through a day off of 5 hours of sleep, no problem. When we got there, Frizz and I don't know who else, maybe Cuddy too, probably. Granted, they were a little sick, but they slept from 5 a.m. till what time, Yelly? 8 or 9.
Yeah.
Just nowhere to be seen.
5 additional hours of sleep on the RV.
I immediately could just say, I woke up at 3. And
Are you talking about the drive to Alabama?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I slept until 7:30.
I
also.
woke up at 3 a.m. at Yelly's house, and I could not fall back asleep as hard as I could. So I was up from 3 till 5, doing everything I could. So, yeah, I will catch a few hours of sleep.
That was the time, though.
Me.
We got in the bus at 5:30.
Yeah.
And I slept in the bed in the RV with Cuddy until 7:30, and we woke up, and we were at the beautiful Golden Arches. We went and got some McDonald's. Then I was up for the day. But those 2 hours saved me, I think.
There's 2 types of people, groups in the hockey guys. There's me and Yelly, who like to have our peak time of the day was at between 5 and 7, sitting on the RV with our coffees. We were loving life. It was the best. And then the other 3 sleeping, missing that whole part. It's just those are the 2 groups that we have here.
I found a hack that I need for myself is if you can have an opportunity for an hour, just close your eyes.
I was going to say that too. Once you get on there and it's early in the morning, you just get as much sleep as possible because you don't want to miss anything in the afternoon and you don't want to be tired and grumpy.
And if the sun's not up, it's all right.
Yeah.
Sleep.
Yeah.
No, I don't think I took a single nap on that whole trip.
That's great.
The whole entire thing.
That's impressive.
I didn't take one nap, and yeah.
You took one with your eyes open.
Oh,
Me
yeah.
and Cuddy saw it. He completely checked out of his body for 10 minutes. He was just staring up at the ceiling. But that was his one and only nap.
So, yeah, we stopped at the world-famous Buc-ee's, gigantic superstore of a gas station, got a couple snacks. That was about an hour and a half outside of our next destination, Birmingham, Alabama. And Birmingham is spelled B-I-R, not B-U-R. We got dragged for that a couple times.
You misspelt it?
In our instant snap stories, but we made it to Birmingham 15 minutes before the guys were going out for warm-up. So we quickly changed, got to the rink, and we are greeted by some of the Birmingham staff, which were all awesome, and they gave us our own jerseys. They surprised us with it, so that was pretty cool.
You know what I just kind of realized? Almost every event that we were at, Kings, Lakers, Birmingham, we were like cutting time so close to like when we had to actually be there for the event.
We did.
But I think other than the jerseys and showing up to Birmingham, we had another surprise waiting for us in the parking lot. Sir David Kaplan was there to join us.
Yes, he was. This is when Cappy hopped on board for the trip. We went in, got the. I don't know if the guys knew we were going to be on the bench, or if they didn't know if we were in town yet or anything. And then we saw them out for warm-ups.
I don't know.
Ducks.
I don't know how I feel about that concept of letting fans on the bench during warm-ups.
It's the SP, man. Anything goes.
Yeah, you're right. We dropped the puck for him too.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
That was very cool.
I like being on the bench. I like that.
It was
I think
cool,
it kind of
yeah.
fires you up too when you're skating on the ice.
But as a player, like, do you want to see all the?
That's
your
what I meant.
buddies?
Like as a player, for me, I would like to, I don't know, have someone watching right there.
Yeah,
I think it would get. I think it would.
It's for the people, Cody.
Yeah, it's for
get
the
me.
people.
Yeah.
They play 60 games a year.
It's
Why
for the
not?
people. But no, that was an awesome surprise that we got asked to drop the puck with Tower, Johnny, and Marty. And that was our first puck drop.
Yep.
All six of us, Dave was there too, got to drop a puck. So us, those three, and the Evansville captain. He was probably wondering what the heck was going on. But that was a cool moment and pretty cool photo to kind of represent where everyone is right now. With us, obviously, in our sneakers and jerseys, and those guys geared up, ready to play a hockey game. We were two different, very different elements right there.
I don't think we could have picked a better game too, because two other of our old teammates were playing for Evansville. So I think there was 8 or 9
On the
UWS alum on the ice playing at the same time, plus us 6 in the stands.
Yeah, it was a
It's
lot
really
of fun.
cool.
And we met a lot of great Birmingham fans. They always told us how many people there are around Birmingham that are fans of us. So it was nice to finally meet them, take some photos, and overall it was a heck of a
Here's
night.
something I don't even know if we have the footage of it, but Yelly and Frizz were on the ice for a little TV timeout game.
Forgot about that.
I don't know. Does anyone have a clip of that?
We had
It was on the Snap
he is
story.
on the
I got a
Snap
photo of it.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
really
you have that cool photo.
But yeah,
You guys go.
So
through it.
we're down in the Zamboni kind of like entrance as a tunnel, and we're getting kind of like the instructions as to what the game exactly is. And so it's just Frizz and I. We both line up on either sides of the net. You got to run out and kind of periodically to the blue line. You have to put a piece of equipment on. But our whole plan prior to the game starting was Frizz was just gonna kind of beat me, get to the puck, and rifle a slap shot as hard as he can, fire the crowd up. And so we get down to the very
You
finish
planned
line.
it?
Yeah, we planned that shot. He planned it. And so Frizz like winds up to like shoot the puck, but he whiffs it, and the puck like kind of trickles to the corner. So then I ended up winning it with a nice snapper from the blue line.
It was funny. You wound up hard.
Yeah, I really wanted to rip it because the guy was like, normally the people who play this game don't really ever know how to hold a hockey stick, so they kind of just push it in the net, so I wanted to go and rip one.
You
Backfired,
did a good job at that.
as usual.
You showed him.
You really showed them.
Mm-hmm.
That was so good. That's funny. You actually planned it. Just always planning.
Yeah. And then, unfortunately, the guys, it's a good game, but they didn't pull out the W, but they were still in great spirits after we met them down by the room. Lawson got them to take a few videos, hey? Get them back into it.
I did. We were joking on how I was going to get the rust off for them a little bit because obviously they hadn't been in a lip-syncing TikTok where I was filming it in quite some time. So it was fun to just have them back there and kind of see how they did on their first couple takes of it. But they're all pretty pumped to just be involved in that again. It was a lot of fun just to like make a video with everyone and get them involved with that stuff.
Yeah, it was great. And then after
Nostalgic.
we went to the local RV, had a couple beers. That's our secret hideaway bar that we named the RV for late night hours. And just, kind of hung out with the guys, caught up a little bit, heard what they've been up to, heard some stories. And then sadly, it was a quick visit as they had to leave at 7 a.m. the next day to head back up to Evansville since they had a road game the next day. And we were heading to Nash in the morning. But
We actually passed them at the
yeah.
kind of the stoplight We were leaving town, and so were they. It was kind of funny.
No, it was great to see those guys, and they're all doing really well, and their team's really good too, and they're all having a great season. So hopefully they can keep making a run, but definitely a fun time checking out Birmingham for the SPHL.
Maybe we can go back for playoffs.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
Bring home the Cup Bulls.
We got some jerseys. Maybe we'll put some gear on. Just kidding. We won't do that.
And then the final stop. We headed over to the Honky Tonk Highway, one of our favorite cities in the whole world.
Yep.
Nashville, Tennessee.
Why is it your favorite city in the whole world?
Well, this was something else we discovered Nashville was the original spring break trip. Back in freshman year, our hockey season ended, and it was, who went? It was me, Yelly, Cuddy,
Trey,
Marty, Trey, and Batesy. And we're just sitting around one day, I'm like, hey, let's go to Nashville for spring break. I'm like, all right, cool. Piled 6 guys in a truck, and Cuddy's pickup truck did the same thing, stopped in Geneva, Illinois, went down to Nashville, had an absolute blast, 6 guys in one hotel room, and we realized that 4 out of the last 5 years, except for going to Arizona for one spring break, Cuddy, Yelly, and I had been in Nashville on St. Patrick's Day weekend.
we joked about this, that each year that we've been to Nashville, it's kind of progressed. Like we've added something like that made it that much better. So
there's 6 guys in a truck, then the original RV, and then the NHL tour, and then the RV again. But obviously a different group this time.
Yep.
Yeah, we kind of got to the hotel, settled in for like a little bit, and then we were off to the Preds game against my Winnipeg Jets. I was wearing all Preds stuff, but secretly cheering for the Jets.
People were staring at him.
Yeah.
He was pumped when the Jets would score, and he was wearing Preds stuff. I was like, what's going on?
That was probably the most watched hockey game we'd ever been to, because we were kind of there as just like, they kind of did a favor for us and like gave us the tickets. We didn't have too many like obligations for them, so we were actually able to sit down and watch the game, which was a nice change.
Yeah, last time we were in Nashville or at a Preds game, we saw George Kittle a year now.
It was like a year
later to date,
today or next day or something.
Yeah, we saw him walking the concourse again 365 days later.
Georgie.
He's doing the same things we are.
Yeah.
Same timeline as us.
Now, who won? The Jets won in overtime. It was cool. There was actually a lot of hockey guys fans there.
Yeah, there's a good amount.
Yeah, it was nice to see on a Nashville afternoon.
Yeah. As well, I just wanted to say, too, at the Birmingham game, there's a bunch as well, which was really cool. So shout out to everyone that came out there in Alabama. It's cool that we have just people that watch our stuff down there. Like, there's someone that brought a sign, I think, too.
Yeah, there was a big THG crowd in Alabama. That was very interesting, very cool.
Yeah, so after the game, there was a 1 o'clock game, which we love, and we headed back to the hotel. Maybe just kind of cleaned up, rested a little bit, and then it was off to the food hall, where we did our meet and greet last year for the NHL tour. If anyone was there, you might remember that spot, and hung out and sat down to eat. We ran into like 3 tables of fans there too, and we're just chatting it up, taking pictures, hanging out, and I think that's another reason that Nashville's just so cool to us. Just there's so many people not from Nashville that come to Nashville, and then there might be like, oh, I follow you guys, and I'm from New York, but we're here. And, hey,
it's a good vacation spot for everybody.
Yeah, that
good
is
spot for us.
Definitely why there is so many people in Nashville, because everyone's on their spring break. Everyone's coming from different spots, and not only in the food hall and at the game. We met a lot of people when we were like what we did after, as like went down Broadway, checked that out, went to our favorite spots there, said hi to a lot of people, took some photos and stuff. Do you think it's gotten more fun now that we've been there 4 years? Like, what do you think?
I think we just know what is fun there and what's not, because we know how to go to where
time things. Yeah, we're
vets.
Maybe vets, Broadway vets.
What was really fun for me is we actually hit up 14 different bars one night.
Well, we'll get to that.
Okay.
Don't worry.
First night still.
Right.
First
First
night. Yeah, it was,
Okay.
I mean,
I'm new to this.
No, it's great. Jason Aldean's was a little too crowded.
Yeah, we are getting
Almost scary crowded.
sandwiched,
Oh, it was
like
scary.
sardines squished Saturday night.
You couldn't even get to the bathroom.
No, it was
insane.
But luckily we found the outdoor patio with a heater.
Yeah.
Which is I think one of our favorite things ever is sitting outside on a patio with high top chairs and just hanging out, and got to meet a lot of people. Ran into old time hockey's buddy Gino from Boston. It was good to see him. And then it was kind of a nice way to end the long week, just us hanging out, enjoying ourselves.
Yeah, I think it was a good thing that we ended it in Nashville, not started it there, because you don't want to obviously tire yourself out at the start of the trip, because then you're having a tough time trying to catch up for the rest of the 8 days. So it timed out well with ending it off there, and I felt like we could all kind of enjoy ourselves, enjoy a good old celebration of the successful tour we went on. But
I think we had no problems, except we did see one bar fight.
Yeah.
He fell into my leg, and I looked, and there was just a big pile of people just trying to break a fight
and
up.
Cappy was in the middle of it too. He was trying to protect the guy's head from hitting the ground and just put his leg in there.
Cappy's being a savior.
Yeah.
And then the famous pizza story came out that night too.
Oh yeah. I'll hand it over to Yelly and Lawson for this.
yeah,
story.
Yelly's got to tell it just because he's on camera.
So we went to the last bar, and before going in, it was just like Will, Frizz, Cuddy, and myself. We go in, and then Lawson's like, "Hey guys, I'll meet up with you guys. I'll meet up with y'all in a little bit. I'm gonna go get something to eat." And so, like 30 minutes later, he comes back all happy and full, and just content with himself. And he's like, "I just had the best slice of pizza ever." And at that point, we all were tired and ready to go. So then we're like, "Oh, let's just get out of here." And we walk outside, and we were hungry then at that point. So Lawson's like, "All right, I'll show you guys the best slice of pizza ever." So we're walking down Broadway. We hook a right off of the main street, and there's this lone, like, food truck, or pizza truck, I guess. And we walk over there, and the guy only happened to have 2 slices left for the whole night. And I walk up there, and I was like one of the second guy to order. Will already had his pizza.
I snagged the last 2.
You select okay, that's what it was. You select the last 2 slices of pizza, and I walk up there. I was like, "Can I get a slice of pizza, pepperoni?" And he's like, "We only got cheese." And then I look behind me, and I know Cuddy was starving. He was telling me all night how hungry he was. And I was like, "Do you got a slice for this guy too?" And he's like, "No, we're all out." So I was like, "Dang, what do we do?" And then he like heard me say that, and he's like, "Well, I can throw a whole pizza in for you guys. It'll be done in 6 minutes. World's fastest pizza ever cooked." And so us being hungry and just after a long night, we're like, "Yeah, let's just do it." So we're like, I banged on the counter, and it was like an aluminum like counter, and so Lawson got it on video, and I was like, "Fire it up, boys! The pizza man's making us a pizza."
Yeah, I set my phone up sometimes in random spots, and I set mine up this time right on the pizza truck's ledge, pointing at Yelly and Cuddy ordering. So I got it all on video, and the best part was too, after you did that, Will was laughing so hard, and then he looks at like us two, is like, "Oh, I wish we got that on video." And then right away said, I did get that on video.
Sniper,
it's like perfect.
Sniper got you.
And then we got the 6-minute world's fastest pizza to be cooked. We got in the box, and our hotel was like half a mile away, all uphill, of course. And so Will was acting like a bodyguard protecting this like pizza. And he was like shimmying around people, making sure Lawson wasn't even looked at.
I didn't go up to the wrong person because I was like boxing them out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then
waving the guys through with the pizza.
And then we get back to the RV, open the pizza up, and all the cheese is like, we went back to the hotel room, and the pizza was just all over the inside of the box.
Our carrier was a little off balance, I think, because he was like turning and running, and
that was my wheel. I was like flipping the thing upside down, but I think that's why it was a 6-minute pizza, because he sold us on the time, but didn't tell us that it was only going to be half cooked by doing that.
Yeah, it wasn't up to Lawson's standards that he was saying.
The world's greatest pizza.
Arguably one of the worst slices I've had. But hey, it filled us up, and we got to go to bed somewhat early that night.
Yeah, somewhat.
Not bad. It was not bad.
Not the latest night.
Yeah, and the next day we woke up. What did we do? We went to eat.
Walked around a bit.
Walked around. Cappy and I had to fly out that day, so leave the rest of Nashville to these guys. But yeah, it's always sad leaving the trip a day early, but sometimes you got to get back to things, and it looked like these guys had a great Sunday too.
Yeah, we got to hang out. Oh, you were still there. We hung out on the top of Dirk's Bentley's for a while. They kind of had a cool like patio area. Filmed some videos for Lawson, and yeah, when you guys left, I think me and Cuddy took a little snooze, as usual. Lawson,
That was another nap.
another nap in the books, and then we met Paul and Lefty at I think it was the last bar on the end of Broadway, because we had a plan for that night. Want to bring her down, Cud?
Yeah, what was that place called we started at?
Whiskey Row.
Whiskey Row. That was a cool spot, too.
I think we went there 5 years ago.
Yeah, I think we did, too. I remember being at that corner, at the first bar.
Whiskey
on
Road, I think.
I think it was Row.
I think it was Row.
Dirk's is Row.
All right, doesn't matter. Go
Whatever.
ahead.
We can't confuse the people if we like it.
They're all good spots, man. They're all good. Anyway, so
Sounds like it was a good Sunday.
it was great. It was great. So Lawson had this idea, since it was Sunday and it was going to be a little bit quieter around Broadway. He wanted to do a little like, let's see how many. I think Yelly came up with it too. You guys were talking about it, going. But anyway, they were going back and forth about, we should just see how many bars we can get to throughout the night, and we'll document it on our Snapchat and try to boost the Snap a little bit. And boy, did we have some fun, eh, Frizz?
Yeah, it was awesome. We kicked off the night at Whiskey Row Road with Paul and Lefty. He got us, had little appetizer bites. We knew we were in for a long one, so didn't want to fill up too much. And we turned it over to the old iPhone cam, so we caught the whole night on me and Lawson's iPhone, and we just went bar hopping about basically every bar that we could see that actually had a little bit of action to it. But fun fact about Nashville, if you go into a bar and it's maybe not your vibe or whatever, walk up the stairs, because every floor is going to be completely different, and we are kind of blown away. There are some sneaky ones.
Yeah, if you didn't like it, you just keep on going up. You don't have to leave the building. And there's different bands, different music. It was really cool. One of my favorite parts about that night was we went up to the second floor, and this place was dead. I think it was just us in there and this poor band playing for no one. And they stopped playing after a song, and we got to know them a little bit. I think they're new THG fans.
Mm-hmm.
Got a photo with them on stage. That was pretty cool.
I think one was Canadian, too.
Yeah. Lawson Lawson gave them the request for All Summer Long, one of our Nashville recap songs, so they sang it for us, and that was pretty fun to kind of tie that in together.
Yeah, I liked it a lot, because when you have a lot of people in Nashville, it's hard to get content, and you just feel like you're annoying everybody else. But this was awesome, because there was nobody really around us at all, and it felt like we were just kind of, for me at least, like I could film them, get them running across the street, doing whatever. Like if we were dancing upstairs to live music, no one was around, so it was more just like our time to have fun and mess around. And I think we made a pretty funny video out of it too.
Yeah, stay tuned for the Road Trip Part 2 vlog.
Yeah,
I'm excited for it. And then we shut it down at so we went to 14 roughly, I think the count is at. We'll have to go back through our footage, but yeah, roughly 14 bars. And our last main stop was, what was that one?
We did not get a drink at every single one of them.
No.
Just
Maybe
just a video clip or two, maybe a song. But what was the Nudies?
I was going to ask that.
Yeah, no, we didn't. I don't think we would have made it to all 14 if we did. We picked and choose wisely, but we ended off at the last bar, Nudies, and we have a video of Lawson and Yelly running down this bar, because it was arguably the longest bar top in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I had never seen anything like this, and they ran, well, what did you say, Yelly? 6-7 seconds down this hallway?
Yeah,
well, he's not very fast. So.
I'm the fast guy on THG. No, the bar top was probably 100 meters long. It's like you're running track.
That's wild.
Yeah.
The world's largest bar top.
Yeah, I'll have to clip that because you have a video of that too, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be perfect.
And there's a big car hanging on the wall over the band, which is kind of cool.
Oh yeah, where
Right
you're,
at the start of the bar, you can.
Well, they
see
actually
that car
built
and
the
then-
bar around that car.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember you said the highway? The highway went through that bar, so they had to build it around.
Just like at Aldean's, the last farmer ever to plow his land left his tractor right in the middle of Jason Aldean's bar. There's this big green tractor.
And then they built around it.
Big green
then-
That's how it goes.
Yeah, we ended the night fully at Aldean's, and Cuddy saw this guy playing on stage that he saw 3 years ago or something. You want to explain this story? It's pretty funny what he DM'd you back.
Yeah, so this guy, like Frizz said, we saw him on our first Nashville trip. And anyway, I took a good video of him singing, and I posted it on my Instagram story, and he swiped up, and he's like, I remember you from 4 years ago. And I'm just like, there's no way. He's probably played for what?
Oh,
How many people?
Yeah.
How many different people in 4 years?
millions.
If he's still playing shows at Aldean's, geez, that place is packed every weekend.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably just
He was probably teasing.
just teasing.
What's his name?
But I don't know.
Joe
Barron.
It was Joe Barron.
Joe Barron, yeah.
Guy rocks.
Korn wasn't there though.
Oh,
I know. I was looking for him.
that's too bad. And how was the drive back? Before we get into some fan questions, how was the RV drive back? You guys
Well,
made it pretty
we
good.
still
job.
had one more stop.
Yeah, we met Jake Owen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Our final stop was meeting Jake Owen, and we were supposed to meet him in North Carolina at the Stadium Series, and plans fell through there. So I know Frizz was super disappointed, but we lined it up because his office was in Nashville. That on our way out we could swing by and see him. Good thing we did, because to be honest, like for me, that was such a cool experience to go into like an artist's office in Nashville. I loved it.
Well, that's just one of those things. We always say it around the office. We shall see. Because we thought we were going to be let down. Our opportunity was gone. But that us being shut down in North Carolina led for us to have a cooler opportunity at his office in Nashville, where it was super cool. He was super chill. He loved the video ideas Lawson had him do. I was a bit starstruck. I've loved his music for a while, so it was really cool to kind of see him up close. And he was playing the guitar to the songs that we were doing for our videos, and you could just sit there all day and listen to him. It was awesome.
Yeah, I wish he would have gave us a little show, because he sang in his voice a couple times, and I was like, oh my goodness, just keep going, buddy.
It was cool for me because I always sing along to the songs so that you guys can know the lyrics. So I was singing along to his song so that he could sing the lyrics too, because which is like just weird. It was
Full
like
circle.
I'm singing a Jake Owen song for Jake Owen to do a TikTok. It's like I was singing Honky Tonk as Jake Owen was playing Honky Tonk on his car.
How does it feel to be singing his song for him?
It was very odd, because it's like I was just like, take it away, man. Like, it's your song.
like,
I'm
you
not going to
go do
be
it.
on key
Yeah.
or tempo. Like, I'll just let you handle it. But I guess for them, like even him, he was actually not remembering every single lyric.
I noticed
just,
that too.
Right? Because he
He's
asked
like,
me, he's
"What
like,
line?"
what? I was like, oh, and I was telling him, oh no, that's the other verse actually. Like, you gotta go to the second verse. That's the one we're doing. And he's like, oh yeah, that's right.
Just bossing around Jake Owen for a bit.
Yeah, pretty much. No, it was really cool.
At least he didn't nap on you.
No.
Yeah.
He recommended right before we leave Nashville to go to a burger spot right down the road. So we decided, why not get one last burger, because the boys packed it on in the 8 days. A lot of burgers were destroyed, but that was a good way to end her off, I think. That was a good burger.
Yeah.
Huey's, I think.
It was so good that, believe it or not, as soon as we got on that RV, Frizz and Cuddy went to there's a bed in the back of the RV, and they slept for
5 hours
literally
straight.
5 hours.
Yeah, 2 late nights in Nashville really wear you out a bit. So, and also people don't understand that RV bed. It's magical.
It is like
something
a cloud.
about it.
You're right. That bed is insanely
Unbelievable. And the motion of the RV too just puts you out
Yeah.
like a baby.
Mm-hmm. Because it
Rocking a
feels like
baby.
you're in. It feels like you're in the womb again. That's why. No, it's true. It's true. Don't even laugh.
It's factual.
I don't know where you got
He
that.
fact-checked
that
that
bet
one.
is comfy.
Like cars, like when you're in a car and it's like this soft like buzzing and like motion, you sleep, you get really tired. Like same with planes.
It's because it mimics the sounds you hear when you're in the womb.
Well, yeah, it's just like when you're very
the good old days.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
I remember it like yesterday.
I'll look it up
Wow.
after this episode.
Yeah.
But
Learned something new.
That's a hot take right
I wonder
there.
everyone was napping.
Yeah, that's why you're napping on the
drive
RV.
home was fun though. Like we kind of just chilled, talked about stories, obviously napped, had a couple snacks left from the trip there, so that was nice to munch on.
When I was when we were driving home, Yelly, back in the hotel, I found the new laptop. Like we just got a new laptop, and I found it under a pillow as I was packing up. Like the thing would have been left in Nashville for sure. But I was doing like a one last check, and I found it under a pillow, so I just put it in my backpack. And then when we were in the RV, Yelly was I was lying down on the couch on mine editing. We were talking about how he has to start editing the podcast, so he's getting his stuff out, goes to get the laptop out of the backpack, and it's not in there. And I'm seeing this out of the corner of my eye, and he like sits up, is really serious and just like thinking in his head, and he like looks left, he looks right, and he's just like the most serious, like oh my goodness kind of face on him. And I knew exactly what he was thinking. He's knowing that he left the laptop at Nashville.
How long did you let him hang?
I just started laughing because it was so funny. I knew exactly what he was thinking, how scared he was, so I just burst out laughing. And then he heard me do that, and then he started laughing. It was just, we were thinking the exact same thing.
Yeah, I thought I was fired. Well, the funny thing was when we got the laptop, when we were checking out, the guy's like, "Do you guys want Apple Care just in case like it gets damaged or lost?" And you're like, "Nah, we don't need it."
Mm-hmm.
And then Lawson said it. He looked at me when we were on the RV. He's like, "Hey, you should start doing some editing for the podcast." And so I sat up to grab the laptop. And it's like I saw a ghost. I was like, oh my gosh. I knew exactly where I left it, and I didn't pick it up when I left Nashville.
Well, that's kind of a thing that I'm realizing when you're working with a team, is that when you get things and even like objects, somebody has to own it. Like somebody has to be responsible for it, or else nobody is. And I think that's why, too, I was like, when I gave you that, this is yours. Like you have to treat it like it's your laptop. Because the same thing happened with one of our cameras. We've lost a camera on the road because it was nobody's camera. It's the groups, but nobody's individually. I've never lost my own because it's like that thing is my baby, and it's just different when it's like a company item.
Yeah,
That's very true.
I learned my lesson. It won't happen again, guys. I promise.
And another thing Lawson loved about the RV on the way home, he edited the entire way back.
Yes, I did.
Laid on the couch, took up a spot, but
I actually did
whatever.
take a nap on the way home.
Little snoozer.
But I did get a lot of content out, or at least onto my computer.
You did work very hard this trip.
Yeah.
I'll give you credit.
Very
Kudos
hard,
to you.
Thanks.
23 videos out, always editing when you can, in the car even. Good job.
Our fearless leader.
Yeah, good leader.
I gotta say, the brain is tired after that. There's a lot of thinking power that gets
Well, yeah,
drained.
when did we get back?
All right,
12:30?
back to our trip here.
Well, yeah, we got back. Smooth road trip back. Nothing crazy happened. But I think, we got back 12:30, something around
Yeah,
there.
we made great time.
Yeah. And
Pilots.
took a quick rest, but back in the office. He made us go back to the office to work, but we love it.
I don't make you do anything.
The funny thing was, right before, it was probably 30 minutes till we got home, Frizz came from the back room, and I was sitting next to Cuddy, and across from us was Lawson, and Frizz sits out, he's like, so I'm kind of wondering what the plan is for tomorrow. Like, do we have to show up at work? And then Lawson's response is, well, I'm working tomorrow. And that was the end of the conversation. So then we all went and worked.
Yeah.
That's so good. Yeah, it was an incredible trip. The second tour is complete.
Yep.
We love ripping around, and hopefully we'll be back in that RV very soon because, I don't know, it's like another home for us.
Yeah, I'm convinced now. We gotta somehow own that thing one day. That's the goal, and then we can get a driver and we can drive out wherever we want.
You know, we realized that being on that RV is just like being in the office. There was internet, there was everything, and we can work on the road forever if we need to.
Yeah, it was a 12-hour drive home, and when I got back, it was like, wow, I just felt like I sat in a living room the entire day. It was no different, which people say go fly a private jet, but I'd say just go drive in an RV.
Yeah. And yeah, that was the trip, but we have some fan questions that we want to answer. So they come from all different points of the trip, so I can list a couple off. Maybe I can ask certain guys questions, but
Yeah, let's do a quick 5 or 6 of them. And
Yeah.
So Will, what was it like working with Logan Henderson from Big Time Rush?
Oh, it was great. He's a nice guy, very professional. He knew what he was doing. Wasn't afraid to give advice, and we definitely took his advice. And he was heading to Europe the next day, so that goes to show you that whatever he's doing is still working.
Yeah.
And yeah, he was just a pro's pro. He knew what worked, knew what didn't work, and I don't know. He was awesome.
All right, I got one from the Snapchat from Jill. She wants to know, she might be visiting LA for the first time, and she wants to know some tips for us.
Well, some tips are there's heavy rush hour times in every city, but LA, you're going to want to add an extra 20 to 30 minutes wherever you're going if you are traveling in those rush hour times, because it gets heavy and slow. So plan accordingly. There's my tip.
Yeah. You need to save yourself an extra half hour if you're going to drive somewhere, because that traffic's brutal. But I got another question for Will here from Morgan. What's more entertaining to watch / follow, college hockey or the NHL?
I think personally NHL, just because, I don't know, I've always liked NHL more, and it's easier for me to follow along. But yeah, the college atmosphere, you still can't beat it, just because of you're playing for your school and your classmates and the community around you. But I would definitely have to pick NHL.
I like it. This one goes to the guy sitting right next to me, Levi Cudmore. What was your favorite part about Nashville?
My favorite part about Nashville is just the live music everywhere. I mean, it's all different types of music, genres of music. The bars, there's 3 different levels. There's different music on each level. So, yeah, that's my favorite part.
Yeah.
I think I have one more question, and then I'm going to ask everyone one more question as a group. So, Yelly, what was your highlight at the Birmingham game, or being in Birmingham in general?
Well, I thought the whole game was super cool. We got jerseys, we dropped the puck, we got to play. We got jerseys, we dropped the puck. We got to do in-game, just like mini games you and I did. But I thought the coolest part was after the game ended, just hanging with the guys. We went out and had supper, and then just were able to reconnect, hang out, talk, and chill for a few hours before we all departed.
Yeah, it was a nice reunion, that's for sure.
Yeah, very nice.
And the final question for everyone, I'm going to ask everyone. I'll start it off and answer it, but what was your favorite part of the entire trip? So you guys can think about that. We did a lot, but mine was, we know we have a lot of fans in different spots and places, and it was kind of just really special to be able to see them on the street at the Kings game. We met some fans that have been around with us for a while. They got us some custom signs. That was always special. Birmingham, great, tons of awesome fans there. And then Nashville, you just never know who you're going to run into. So it's always nice when the fans say hi and we can kind of give a little bit back to them. And we love taking pictures with everyone. So if you ever do see us out, don't be afraid to say hi, and we'd love to get a picture. So the fan experience of the tour, that was my favorite.
Yeah, I mean, besides meeting fans and everything, that's obviously very high on the list. I think overall I just love the excitement of being on the RV and getting closer and closer to the destination and just hanging out on there, whether it was, I know we played cards for a few hours, just messed around, and I think just the RV is my favorite part of that trip.
My turn?
Go ahead, sir.
I'm going to take a different stab at it. I think my favorite part about everything was Venice Beach. I thought that was something that, I mean, I've heard of Venice Beach before, but it was really cool seeing Muscle Beach, that skate park, going in the ocean, the beach was huge. I don't know. I was pretty blown away. Even though it was cloudy and kind of cold, it was still really cool experience.
I agree. That beach did completely blow out what my expectations were. It was awesome.
I think my favorite part of the whole trip was going to Birmingham, actually. Like, just the whole day, like taking the RV down there, hopping off, going to the game, seeing our buddies that we haven't seen for a long time, just being back in that SPHL environment where, like, the fans we were interacting with, like, the team, obviously, the people who work for the team were super nice. So, yeah, that's got to be my favorite.
Go Bulls.
I'd have to say, too, I think full day, if I had to pick one day, that was the best day.
Yeah.
I think it always is. Like, the day that we drive up from Yelly's place to our destination, whether that's Nashville, like, that day's so fun because it's so exciting to pull in there. But, like, yeah, moment, too. I think that night in Nashville, maybe that us four had when we went to all those different bars was, like, maybe my highlight. But again, like, Nobu was so fun.
Mm-hmm.
I love going to Nobu too. That was tough.
Sorry, Will.
Yeah.
We'll be back. We'll have to be back. But
We'll do that again. That
I
was
think
really
it.
fun.
Well,
I'm not worried. I know we'll do it
No,
again.
if Will Blake was there, then that night would have taken the
And
cake.
Dave, Will and Dave.
yeah.
There was one question, kind of turning the tide, but someone I think asked, was there any point on these trips where we get annoyed with each other?
Yeah, that's right.
Good question.
I had one. I know I just had one.
Let's hear it.
But I don't think it was because of you guys. I think it was just going to the airport on our flight home from LA. That was when I was just like, just leave me alone.
I
That
was
was just so
blasting
tired.
music in the front seat.
Yeah, you were.
What about anyone
It was
else?
a very smooth trip, though.
I got a little annoyed at one point because I didn't have a room key that worked. And Lawson said there was no chance that the manager of the hotel would get us a new one. And even with our IDs and stuff, it wasn't booked under our name. It was booked under Dave, and Dave was gone. So we couldn't get another room key, so we were locked out. That was my one point where I was a little stressed out and annoyed. But luckily we had the RV. So me and Lawson and Yelly just hopped on the RV.
Yep.
You got anything, Yelly? I think for me,
Well,
I'll go ahead. I'll go
You
ahead.
go
Sorry,
ahead.
I started yapping, but I think, like, I don't know. I would say, like, the amount of sleeping is annoying to me, just for the fact of that I want to. I couldn't miss it out by sleeping. It's like I just want to like experience all of it from start to finish. So it's like when you guys are napping the whole time, it's like it's annoying because I want to experience it all together, but you guys are just like go off and sleep. It's like that's just from my perspective because I don't want to miss out on anything, and then I see you guys missing out. It's like, well, why do you miss out?
Yeah, one thing I will say about that is, like, I will sit there and try to stay up when I'm exhausted, but you have your headphones in, you're editing. Yelly was doing something too. I'm like, okay, how long can I sit here until they're done editing and wanted to, like,
Oh
hang
yeah,
out, you know? Like,
makes sense.
so
That's fair.
that's my point of view.
Any
Yeah.
feedback for his?
Let us
Oh.
sleep.
Yeah, my sleeping thing is just like I know I need to be able to perform on the camera, so I need to be well rested and have the energy up. Also, Cuddy battled through LA with his sickness, and it kind of turned the point to me, kind of in Illinois, so I knew I was coming down with it, and I did not want to sound like him when we were in LA, so I wanted to get my immune system boosted with some rest. When are we filming? But no, other than that, I think we all did really well, talking with each other, planning things out, and it's a great trip, and I'd do it again in a heartbeat.
Yeah, we don't really know each other for real.
No, not really.
I think it's the
except for Dave. I
it's
think
the-
Dave was annoyed at one point.
Yeah.
Dave.
Oh, when was he marching away? He was motoring through
That-
somewhere.
Was that
Was it the food hall?
Yeah, that when he had his trench coat on,
Yeah.
or what, like that long coat he was wearing.
Yeah, he was wearing this long coat, and I think it was actually at the Preds game.
Mm.
He was he was like motoring way ahead of the group, and he kept
It
like
was.
looking
It was when
back
we were
at
heading
us.
back to the hotel after. the
Yeah,
Preds
that's
game.
what it was.
We stopped to take a picture, and I actually looked. You two and Dave, or who stopped to take the picture, whatever. And a couple guys were behind Cappy, and he was like at the top of the hill, almost at the hotel, and you guys were still down. I actually noticed that from far away.
Yeah.
And yeah, we have one last thing on our docket before we wrap this episode up. We have been chatting and debating if we want to start kind of once a week an internal podcast or internal episode that we just kind of talk about what our week's been up to, maybe funny moments, certain things that aren't always on camera, and it would be just us, no interviews, and we'd kind of like to give that as maybe a bonus avenue. So if you guys want us to start doing that as well, we'd love to personally, but only if you guys are going to listen. So please shoot us a message on Instagram, on the fan club account, or our individual accounts, and we would love to hear what you guys think about that idea. So now I will let Will wrap it up.
Yeah, thank you everybody for listening, making it this far in the episode. How long was that? Like an hour and a half?
Hour and 15.
Wow. We kind of flew by, and this is a little taste of what you would get on an internal episode. So yeah, as Friz said, please let us know. Thank you all for listening, and it was a pleasure to meet all of you who we were fortunate enough to meet last week on our trip. Plenty more to come. Really appreciate it, and thank you so much for all the support. Yeah, let us know what you think, and
we'd also like to
Cuddy looks like he's got to say something.
Can I say something quick?
Yeah.
And with that, Loss, sign us off.
Oh.
See you later.